The Treasure Island, Chapter 1. Jim Hawkins. I'll start by writing about the time when my father owned an inn called the Admiral Bimbo. Many years ago, I remember the day when a man walked into the inn. He was tall and strong, with an old blue coat and a star on his face. He looked around him. "Oh, this is a nice, quiet place. I'll stay here. Please, take this up to my room," he said, pointing to a large wooden box. "You can call me Captain. And this is for you," he continued, handing my father 3 or 4 gold coins. The captain was usually a quiet man. He spent his days walking on the beach or on the cliffs. When he came back, he always asked, "Did any sailors visit the inn today?" At first we thought he wanted to find some other sailors, but later we realized that he didn't want any sailors to find him. In the evenings, the captain sometimes told stories about his time at sea. My father was worried that nobody would want to visit the inn because they would be frightened by the captain's stories, but I think people liked them. The captain stayed at the inn for a month. He did not give us any more money for his room, and my father did not dare to ask him for more. One morning, the captain went for a walk along the beach. I was helping my mom to make breakfast when another man walked into the inn. He was thin and pale, with 3 fingers on his left hand. He sat down and asked, "Is this table here for my friend Bill?" I told him that I didn't know any Bill, and said that the table was for the captain. "Well, my friend Bill might say that he's a captain," he said. "He has a scar on his face and likes to tell a story. Is that him?" "Yes," I said. "He's gone for a walk." "Which way did he walk?" he asked. I pointed towards the beach. The man stood up and waited by the door for the captain to return. When the captain saw him, he looked pale and ill. "Black dog?" the captain said. Then suddenly there were loud shouts, and both men stood up and ran outside. The captain had a sword, and then I saw Black Dog running away with blood on his arm. The man continued running until we could not see him. The captain walked back into the inn. He looked ill, and suddenly he fell over. I thought perhaps he was hurt from the fight. At that moment, the doctor arrived to see my father, who was sick. "Help us, Dr. Livesey. The captain's hurt," said my mother. The doctor looked at him and said, "He is not hurt, but he is very ill. Help me to take him upstairs." We took the captain up to his room, and the doctor gave him some medicine. The captain stayed in bed, but he was not quiet. He told me about his travels at sea and said that he had something which people wanted. "Black Dog is not as bad as some of the other men," he said. "They all want to find me. Tell me if you see them." That evening, my father died. I felt terrible and forgot all about the strange things that the captain told me. Then, a week later, I saw a blind man coming down the road towards the inn. He stopped outside the door when he was near and asked, "Where am I? Will a kind person help me?" "You are at the Admiral Bimbo Inn. in Black Hill Cove, I told him. At that moment he grabbed my hand. "Take me to the captain," he said. "Take me to him now." I walked with the blind man into the inn and took him to the captain. The captain looked very surprised to see him. "Now, Bill, stay where you are. I can hear you. Take this." He then put something in the captain's hand, turned round and left. The captain looked at what the man gave him. 10 o'clock, he said. "I've time." Then the captain suddenly fell to the floor. He was dead. I found my mother and we talked about what we should do. We knew that the captain had a box in his room and it probably had money in it. The blind man and black dog probably wanted this. I thought about taking the box to Dr. Livesey, but I didn't want to leave my mother. We knew that we were in danger. We decided to go to the nearest village and ask our neighbors for help guarding the inn. However, none of the people in the village wanted to help us. They did not come back with us. But one man went to tell Dr. Livesey. Another man said that we could have his gun. It was dark when we returned to the inn. We found the key to the box in the captain's jacket. I also saw the message that the blind man gave to the captain. It said, "You have until 10 o'clock tonight." We went upstairs and my mother soon opened the box with a key. Inside, we found some clothes, some guns, some papers, and other things. We also found a bag with some coins inside. "We only have time until 10 o'clock, I said. "Let's leave before the blind man and the black dog return. I'll only take the money which the captain owes us," my mother said. Opening the bag, we stood up to leave, and I decided to take the papers from the box, too. We walked as quickly as we could back towards the village, but as we walked, we heard the sound of people in the road behind us. "Take the money and run," said my mother. "I'm too weak to continue." I didn't want to leave her, so we stopped under a bridge where we could hide in the dark. Who is Jim Hawkins? He's the narrator and the hero of the story. What was the name of the inn that his father owned? Admiral Bimbo. What day will Jim always remember and would never forget? He would always remember the day when a tall and strong man with an old blue coat and a scar on his face entered into their inn. Why do you think the captain had chosen the Admiral Bimbo Inn to stay in? I think he had chosen it because it was too far from any known place and he wanted to disappear or escape from someone chasing him. What has he got with him when he came to the inn? He had no bags or cases, but only had a large wooden box. What name did he call himself? He called himself Captain. How much money did he give Jim's father? He gave him 3 or 4 gold coins. What did he used to do every day? He used to spend his time walking on the beach or on the cliffs. What was he always asking about when he came from his long walks? He always asked if any sailors had visited the inn that day. Why do you think the captain was always asking that question? Because I think he was hiding from someone or something and didn't want to be found. What did the captain used to do at night, and why was Jim's father worried? At night the captain used to tell stories about his adventures at sea. My father was worried that nobody would want to visit the inn, but people liked his stories. How long did the captain stay in the inn, and why didn't Jim's father ask him for more money? He stayed in the inn for a month. My father didn't dare to ask him for more money, as he was really scared of him. What happened one day while the captain was out? A strange man came in, sat down, and asked if that table was for his friend Bill. Describe Black Dog. He was thin and pale, with 3 fingers on his left hand. Describe the captain when he saw Black Dog. He looked pale and ill. What happened between Black Dog and the captain? At first they argued, then quarreled, then fought, until finally Black Dog escaped with blood coming from his arm, and the captain came in with his sword drawn. Why did the doctor arrive to the inn? To see Jim's father, who was ill, and also saw the captain, who fell to the ground. What did Dr. Livesey tell Jim and his mother when he saw the captain? He told them he wasn't hurt, but he was ill, and he gave him some medicine. What happened to Jim's father that night? He was dead. What did the blind man give the captain or Bill? He gave him a piece of paper with a time on it. You have until 10 o'clock. What happened to the captain when he had the paper? He read it and said, I still have time, and fell dead to the ground. What did Jim and his mother decide to do? They decided to ask the village people's help to come and guard the inn, as they were sure that Black Dog and the blind man would come and attack the inn to steal the captain's large box. Did the village people agree to help? No, but one agreed to go to Dr. Livesey to ask for help, and another man gave them his gun. What did Jim and his mother decide to do? They decided to go back to the inn. They took the key of the box and opened it. They found lots of money, tools, and lots of papers. The mother was honest and only took money the man owed them, and Jim took all the papers, including a map. What did the mother ask her son Jim to do when they heard voices coming? What did they do? She asked him to take the money and run, as she was too weak to run, but he didn't want to leave his mother and head under a bridge. Goodbye.